Marley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Friday, August 4th. So today we will see the moon in Pisces go void, of course, at 9:21 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll be locking into Aries energy 11:20 p.m., which of course opens up a brand new emotional and intuitive cycle for us. Of course, the transition from Pisces energy to Aries energy is always a welcomed one. We move out of the emotional depths of our, I'm going to say, inner realms of our imagination, of our healing, of our cleansing, of all of those wonderful things that the moon in Pisces brings into focus. And of course, the moon in Aries, a fire energy, gets us all fired up, all hopped up, ready to move forward, ready to take action. And of course, that first action is ripping the rear view mirror off. We have no want, need, or desire to look back with the moon in Aries energy. We just want to look forward. And of course, that is going to pose a little bit of an inner struggle, seeing as, of course, we have a lot of retrograde planets. So the majority of the day is going to be with the moon in Pisces. And a reminder, the moon in Pisces is an ending, a closure of a cycle. It's also pushing us to relax, to rest, to step back, to be more receptive, to go with the flow, to understand what our intuition is trying to tell us. It's a time that feels a little bit confusing to kind of navigate, seeing as, of course, we do have Mars in this Virgo energy pushing for action, pushing for us to kind of stay the course, keeping busy, keeping our physical bodies engaged. But the moon in Pisces really needs us to calm down and simmer. We have a lot of light codes that we've already been downloaded with that haven't come into full realization. And the moon in Pisces needs us to kind of slow the physical body down enough in order for these light codes to actually be activated, actually make sense to us, and of course, become an awareness that we can actually work with. So this is the first day that is not a moon day since we had that full moon in Aquarius on the very first day of August. We have 10 different aspects here today. 9 of them will involve the moon. The moon in Pisces is going to make a very positive interaction with the sun in Leo energy. So anytime we have the moon and the sun coming together, there is a little bit of an overlap. Part of us very connected to where it is that we've been, where it is that we're coming from, holding on to all kinds of old energy, while the sun is shining a bright light, especially in Leo energy, on our heart, on our soul space, what it is that we want to build, what it is that we want to pursue, where it is that we're currently standing in a new truth, a new mission, a new purpose. And the overlap leaves us in this present moment, in the here and now, to see what it is that we actually have to move away from, close the door on, and bring to a completion point, a closure, again, moon in Pisces, in order for us to actually have the boldness, the bravery, the courage to pursue a new path of happiness, to actually pursue a new mission, a new goal, a new dream, a new vision. And that's what the sun in Leo energy is currently shining a bright light on. The moon is going to interact with Chiron, the wounded healer, who is retrograde in Aries energy, in such a way that is going to provide us a little bit of a understanding on where some progress is being made, where we are kind of seeing some improvements. Now, a lot of this is our inner realm, so don't take a good look around at your physical realm and say, well, geez, nothing's changed. This is an inner realm situation as of yet, and I think a lot of people are confused about that, really expecting a lot of the change to take place in the exterior realm. Let me remind you, nothing can manifest in the physical realm until our heart and our head, our inner realm, has decided that it needs to actually be manifest. That's why all of these inner realm changes are happening, especially Venus being retrograde. It is taking place in our inner realm. We have a lot of realizations, a lot of epiphanies, a lot of thinking and processing to do before we're going to see those physical changes in our physical realms. The moon in Pisces energy interacting with Chiron in this way is going to illuminate where it is that we are healing, where we are cleansing ourselves from some of those heavier emotions, those heavier ideas, those heavier memories, if you will, bringing something to a closure point where our inner trauma and pain is concerned. That Chiron energy is pushing for growth, pushing for improvement, pushing for healing. as the moon in Pisces is also doing at this particular point in time. The moon in Pisces is going to sextile beautiful energy with Uranus, the great awakener, who of course is in the fixed earth energy of Taurus. So the moon interacting with Uranus in such a way, and such this sextile is designed to do, is bringing in new insights, bringing in new epiphanies. Now, it may be that you've already been downloaded with these particular insights, but you haven't been able to bring them in the mental plane yet, the logical, practical side of our egoic intellect. We are starting to see a lot of realizations actually take form. A lot of epiphanies actually make sense. A lot of ideas actually get pieced together, structured in such a way that we actually see some movement of possibilities, of alternatives, and actually moving forward. This is going to bring a lot of clarity. Now, that clarity might not linger for too long, so you do have to kind of take a mental snapshot of what it is that you're being called to pursue. But nonetheless, this is I'm going to say, a very important puzzle piece that we are currently snapping together in order to reveal the greater grandeur dream, vision, goal, and picture that we're currently working towards. The moon in Pisces is going to interact with Venus, the goddess of love, beauty, worth, pleasure, money, who is retrograde, doing all kinds of reflections, all kinds of re-evaluations in this Leo energy of the heart and soul of what it is that we've brought to life, what it is that we're still or not so much in alignment with. And of course, by the end of Venus's retrograde, we will be very different people with very different values, very different priority lists than we had walking into Venus's retrograde. This particular aspect is going to highlight choices, paths, decisions, especially where the heart space is concerned. And again, just a reminder, Venus rules over our self-worth, our self-esteem, our self-confidence. It starts with the worth and the value that we see within ourselves. It spills over into our day-to-day life where routines are concerned. How does that connect, you may ask? Well, do you have a routine that you go on every single day on autopilot? Do you have a routine that you are staying present in? Do you have a routine that is supporting you and encourage you for moving forward and manifesting the realm and the reality of your dreams? Do you have a routine that is constantly being, I'm going to say, infused with happiness, joy, safety, security, and stability? Answering those questions are going to be very revealing. Venus, of course, rules over relationships. Who and what makes us happy? Who needs to stay? Who needs to go? And in that, we're also taking a good look at our money matters, our skills, our talents, our resources in order to create more income. Are we using the skills and talents that we have to the best of our ability? Do we feel safe and secure in our current financial state? What are we building towards? What are our long-term goals? So again, Venus covers a lot of our physical realm, a lot of ground that our ego previously has built our physical realms into, and now we're taking a step back, we're moving inward, we're reflecting and reevaluating to see whether or not we could possibly tweak some of the aspects in our physical realm to be more encouraging, more supportive, more healing, more safe, more secure, more stable, more happy, more joyful, more pleasureful. Well, that is up to us. We still have quite a little bit more time for Venus to be in her retrograde. She, of course, will be reborn here on the 13th. If you're interested in learning more about Venus's retrograde, please jump over to my Patreon, watch that astro class that I put out for Venus, and you will have a better understanding of why it is that you're feeling the way that you're feeling right now because of the phase and the cycle that she's currently going through. So the moon interacting with Pisces is highlighting where endings and closures need to take place in all of the Venetian topics and themes that I just rattled off to you. And so we are starting to see where choice points, where crossroad points, where decisions need to be made on, again, what needs to stay, what needs to go, what needs to die, and what needs to grow. The moon is going to interact with the sun again, this time in a particular aspect that is less favorable than the very first aspect of the day, but not a negative one nonetheless. What we're kind of being positioned with right now is to kind of see where it is that we can work together. What does this mean? Well, the sun in Leo wants us to be heart aligned, wants us to get real and raw and vulnerable with ourselves. We have a new truth that we're standing in. We want to be seen. We want to be heard. We want to tap in to new creative creative energies in order to come up with new ideas that will project us on a path that will have us expressing our soul self from our meat suits here in this earthly realm. But of course, the moon in Pisces, very dreamy, very imaginative. We are very intuitive as well. There is a lack of boundaries that comes with the Piscean energy, and that's why there's a lot of confusion most times when we have the moon in Pisces. We gain a little tiny bit of clarity through our intuition, through our gut feelings, but then we tend to kind of over dramatize it. We tend to overthink it in our intellect, and therefore we kind of suck the energy, suck the magic right out of it. So this particular aspect is going to give us a heart activation, again, Leo energy, with a intuitive activation, moon in Pisces, in order for us to understand what it is that we're being called to pursue. The moon is then going to come up to, bump into, team up with Neptune, who of course is retrograde in Pisces energy, its rulership. So this is going to do a couple of things. First of all, the lowest level of the manifestation of this particular aspect is going to bring out all the confusion. This is going to bring out this overwhelming state of emotion where we don't know what to do with ourselves. We don't know if we're coming or going. We kind of want to bury our head in the sand, detach, disconnect from reality altogether. We kind of want to live in la la land because imaginary land is a lot more enjoyable, a lot more safe for us at this particular point in time. We could feel very overwhelmed with all of the not so nice thoughts and feelings, or it can manifest in its highest form, which is inspiration, which is having a vision, having a dream, having a new intuitive download that plants the seed in your mind's eye, in your heart space on what it is that you want to work towards, what it is that you want to manifest, what it is that you want to bring to life. The moon in Pisces is then going to interact with the North Node in Aries energy in such a way that it is going to illuminate for us where it is that we do see a baby step, nonetheless, moving forward, a path unfolding, a door opening up for us, an opportunity, an alternative coming out of the woodworks that we haven't quite explored as of yet. This means that we are essentially growing in our clarity. We are growing in our boldness and our bravery and our courage to kind of deviate from the path that we've been on in order to kind of explore a new path that has us more independent, more me oriented, meaning that the North Node in Aries energy should be about what you want, what you need, what you desire, without considering the thoughts, the opinions, the objectives of other people. This is the 18-month life lesson that we're in, guys. So it is going to be a hard adjustment at the start. And likely we're going to encounter a lot of bumps along the way in order for us to truly learn where it is that we have to move into our selfish era, and in some people's eyes, our villain era, in order to put ourselves first. So this is a realization on where it is that, hey, I see a step. I see a move that can be made. Not sure if I'm going to make it, but I see it, and that in itself is growth and its process. The sun is going to interact with Neptune. Okay, so this is the only aspect here in the day that doesn't involve the moon. Neptune, of course, is retrograde in Pisces energy in its place of power. So what we get here is the sun in Leo mixed with this water energy from Neptune being retrograde in Pisces. So what this is going to do is, first of all, it's going to make it very hard for us to focus. Focus on what you may ask. Well, focus on anything that actually needs our attention right now, especially with the smaller details in life. But even more than that, it makes it very difficult for us to focus on our goals. Even more than that, it has an issue popping up where we're having a hard time even defining what our goals are. Many of us just sitting around hoping to download a vision of a dream, of a goal for us to actually be motivated and inspired enough to actually pursue. So we're kind of low on willpower, right? We're waning in that. We're losing our steam, if you will. We're lacking direction. And the reason why we're struggling with all of this is because we are struggling to find the balance between our materialistic realm, our materialistic goals that, of course, our ego wants for us, and the spiritual goals that our higher selves have for us. We have to find a balance. Many of us are not finding that balance enough, not finding it easily, and therefore in a state of confusion, of chaos, because likely to align either with the ego realm, the materialistic realm, or to align with the spiritual realm. And of course, we have to have one foot in both worlds. We have to walk the middle line. The whole point of our adventure here in this physical earth plane is to meet ourselves in the middle so that we can have a positive egoic experience, a positive higher self soul experience, and blend the two together in order for us to kind of bring the two different worlds into one. That's the whole purpose of it. But right now, we are going to be illuminated to where it is that we're either too immersed in the materialistic realm because our ego's in the lead, or we're too immersed in the spiritual realm, which means that our higher selves are in the lead. And one would say, well, isn't that where we're supposed to be? No, not really, because many people get lost in the spiritual realm and forget that they are humans here on this earth plane, meant to have a human experience. Everybody's all caught up in the love and light, the 5D, oh, let's get rid of our physical bodies. Oh, I'm ready to be raptured. Okay, we're not down with that. Losing yourself too far into the spiritual realm is going to really come back and bite you in the ass when you actually pass over into the spirit realm and you look back on the wasted opportunity that you had to be a human and to get messy and to bring your spiritual observer self into the physical meat suit that you were given in order to navigate the earth realm with the observation of the higher mind. That's the whole point. So there's a lot of people losing themselves in the spiritual realm, the spiritual world right now. You got to pull yourself out of that, meet yourself halfway with your ego self. So the moon in Pisces is going to sextile Pluto, the great transformer himself, in Capricorn energy. We love this because we're at the tail end of the moon in Pisces transit. This is actually the last aspect that the moon is going to make before going void of course. And it's a perfect one with Mr. Pluto because Mr. Pluto, he brings a major change, a major transformation into our inner realms. So the moon in Pisces, of course, is our emotional and intuitive realm. And sextiling, which is harmonizing these energies, blending these energies together, is creating a ripple effect, a major shift, a major change, a major transformation in our inner realms. And of course, we've had multiple moon days since the full moon in Aquarius, helping us to emotionally refine our inner state of being. And now we are starting to see how our inner state of being has changed. We are wrapping things up. We're closing the door on certain topics and themes, and we are preparing to go void of course, which always does bring in a little bit of confusion, a little bit of instability before locking into the next energy. But trust me, we're moving into the moon in Aries, which is a fresh start, a clean slate. We are ripping the rear view mirror off. We're ready to take action. We're ready to make moves. We're ready to actually move forward. So then the moon goes void, of course. The only aspect that we have left here today, while the moon is still in Pisces energy, but void, we are going to be semi-squaring, which is a little bit of a tension point, a little bit of a conflict with Jupiter, the planet of growth and expansion, beliefs, abundance, and blessings, who is in this Taurus energy until May of 2024, helping us to reorganize, restructure our physical realms more in support of being in alignment with our higher selves, creating a state and a space that is not only filled with happiness, joy, and pleasure, but it provides more safety, security, and stability than what it is that we've been living in. The moon in Pisces interacting with Jupiter in this way is definitely creating a little bit of friction, a little bit of conflict in order for a major change to actually take place. And this is us preparing to step forward, to move forward in this path of growth, in this path of healing, in this ability to create new opportunities for ourselves to really be abundant and prosper. So this is kind of like the last hurrah, seeing where it is that some of the old emotions, the old memories, the old thoughts, the old dreams, the old visions are currently blocking us from moving forward and actually manifesting a state of being that is more in alignment with our higher selves than what it is that we've built out of ego self. And this point, that is the last aspect that is going to kind of, close up the day. We will not have any aspects with the moon in Aries until early Saturday morning.